Good evening, Mayor and Council, members of the public. Again, Reuben Chavez, Chief of Police for the Livingston Police Department. I mentioned this in one of the last meetings. We had been invited to attend a drone as a first responder program that was up in series, and the picture on the left is our detective actually flying one of the drones. And this is a really interesting program where you can actually remotely have a drone respond to a call with a camera on it, so you can see what's going on there. And it's been successful at one of the agencies in Southern California. So we looked at that. We looked at partnering with foster farms to help fund the program. But something we're looking at, and I think it'd be beneficial to the city. As you may know, I attended the Washington, D.C. Police Officer Memorial celebration for an entire week, and it was honoring those who've given the ultimate sacrifice across the nation. In 2018, we lost 163 officers. We were tied for second most in California, 23 in New York, 11 in California, 11 in Florida, 11 in Texas. And so it was actually really sobering to be part of that. I mean, officers from throughout the world and in the United States attended this. The picture on the left is the Capitol, and our president did a presentation at the event and brought up the family of Corporal Singh from Newman PD, and it was very moving. The picture on the upper right, I brought that because it actually caught me off guard during one of the events. The police car drove by, and it said Livingston Police. And it was actually Livingston, New Jersey police car, and so I thought it was kind of ironic.
You didn't just take it with you?
Yeah, I was trying.
Livingston on there.
I tried to catch up to them, and it was tough. And then it was very nice. Congressman Costa actually took several minutes out of his very busy schedule to meet me and my family to just talk about some things that he's been doing, and it was neat. It was very neat. He's a super congressman, and he's very supportive of his region and our city. So I appreciate him doing that, taking some time out of his day to do that. It was actually in between two big meetings that he did that. So, and the candlelight vigil was very, very moving. As you can see, this picture was taken from the stage. A friend of mine sent it to me, and it went all the way to the Washington Monument. Everybody had candles, and it was just a really moving event. And if anybody's had a chance to attend, I would really highly recommend being able to attend during that week. We had coffee with a cop, coordinated by Officer Godfrey, and it was a good opportunity to sit down and have some coffee and invite people to chat for a little bit. It was neat to see some of our local residents, Karen and Helen, join us and join some of our dispatchers, enjoy some coffee. And I want to thank Starbucks for hosting the event. Also, we had some heavy hitters from Sacramento region, the Board of Education, that came by, and we actually got a chance to talk to them and talked about our MAPS program. So it was pretty neat to talk about what's going on here in Livingston, and hopefully plant some seeds about how the program is successful, and maybe that's something they can take back to Sacramento. I attended the League of Cities Community Service Policy Committee meeting last Thursday, Friday. As you know, I'm on the committee for the California Police Chiefs Association. And basically, it was the day after the governor passes the budget, so they had a little budget summary. Again, the budget, I think it's like $160-something billion for California, but they highlighted there's actually $20 billion of surplus that they basically devoted to paying down the debt, PERS and schools and other general debt. So that's nice. They did say, prepare for a downturn. That if we had a recession for 3 years, the state would lose about $70 billion. So they are putting money away, which is good. One of the main issues that the policy committee dealt with is homelessness. That's a priority throughout the state. Now, we're fortunate here in Livingston that we don't have that significant of a problem. We do have a small problem, but larger cities like LA, San Francisco, San Jose, San Diego, there's actually some ballot measures going before vote that any city larger than 330,000 people will have to have a safe area for people to camp at. Along that goes with security issues and things like that, management issues. There's two bills also, New Beginnings Work Program that allows cities to employ homeless at a fair market rate. And then also the Animal Shelter Vet Clinic, which is another bill coming through that requires homeless shelters to build a clinic for the pets of those that are homeless, and a veterinary clinic to go along with that. Many people are homeless in larger cities, have pets, and they can't get into shelters unless they have an opportunity to bring their animal with them. SB 330 housing crisis, something that the League of Cities is basically not supporting, and is encouraging cities across the state to not support that. What it's going to do, if it does pass, it's going to prevent cities from basically allocating a specific number of parking spots for new construction, as well as basically removing some of the fees, impact fees that are collected. Basically, they're going to remove some of those in an effort to try to get more housing development. So if it's something that does pass, something that will definitely impact us. SB 266, PERS disallowed compensation. Basically, currently, if there's an employee that retires and there's some basically miscalculations on their final salary totals, and it's something that the city actually made some errors, that the city will be basically liable for those. So once the employee retires, if the PERS discovers that at a later time, the city will actually have to pay that employee directly for that compensation. AB 516, this one really caught my attention. This is basically, if this passes, it's going to basically not allow cities to impound vehicles that are on the street for whether they're expired, whether they're parked for more than 72 hours and basically abandoned, whether several different reasons that we will not be able to tow vehicles. And so I think it's an effort to try to support homelessness. However, it will impact our city. The fact we will have vehicles on our streets that are basically an eyesore to the community, causing some issues. We will not be able to tow those vehicles. So another one that they're deadly against, basically voting against for that. And then lastly, the Weber and Caballero bill, use of force policy. Basically, there's two competing ballot measures that talk about identify the use of force. One is Weber basically makes it required use of force, basically necessary use of force, and the other one is reasonable use of force. And so those are competing. The Weber bill basically looked like it didn't have enough support, so they're basically combining the bills and using the Caballero verbiage for the definition of use of force. We had our high school graduation last year in our town, and our police department helped support that with security, and we had some fine, outstanding local residents who graduated. And following that evening was our Sober Grad program, which we staff and provide a bingo game with $1,000 worth of prizes. Another fun time. Just big shout out to Deanna, Maribel, Kristen, Emma, folks that came out to volunteer to help with that event. And the CHP did grace us. It is a Sober Grad, so they came out later on to basically show the support in an effort to try to keep the youth here on the right track and not drinking and driving. We just finished up a large detail, the U.S. Open, 119th. It won't come back to Pebble Beach until 2027. So I want a big thank you, big shout out to our 4 advisors, Officers Valdivia, Vieira, Godfrey. Godfrey is one of our advisors, and his wife, and then Detective Barkus. They went out there for the entire week from Sunday to Sunday, and they worked extremely hard. They're up at 3 in the morning getting the kids out ready, breakfast on post by 5 o'clock in Pebble Beach, and they're on post until 8 p.m. at night. Again, it's something that the kids actually really enjoy doing that. They work very hard, but again, it's not an employment. It's basically donating their time, and in return, the organizer will write a donation check to the post. So I want to thank all of those folks for their involvement. And this is some of the pictures from the actual detail in front of the lodge. Some of our explorers, and then as I mentioned, they worked so hard that we actually put some cots out there in case they needed to take a quick nap during the day. They also worked at the Gallo event, which was last month. The Gallo family event, huge carnival, and we were the largest host out there supporting the event. And again, they receive a donation from the Gallo for participating in that. And lastly, the Explorers help out a lot for the actual graduation. Those that are not graduating, obviously, but they really help out a lot, keep folks in certain areas. Last week, we had a law enforcement torch run that came through town. Again, this is a statewide event. It will accumulate in this Friday is the opening ceremony at UC Davis, and then Saturday starts the actual competition. But we were the last leg of this run, and we ended up at our department, and the last leg involved a lot of department members, as well as the California Highway Patrol, which joined us during that leg. So we have our team here. Big shout out to Corporal Kirk for being our coordinator, our organizer for that event, and I want to thank our city manager for running with us this time. And it was neat to see his involvement with the youth. And we hosted a barbecue for all the runners, and we have the world famous Chaka who did the barbecuing for that, and everybody really enjoyed that event. This is connected to one of the events I'll show in a second. We attended the Sikh awareness event up in Ceres, and they want us to basically announce that there's some free community health screenings that are occurring in Modesto on June 22nd. I know it's a little bit north of us, but again, if it's a free event and people might be in that direction anyways, I told them I'd give that promotion for them. Also, on Wednesday, June 26th, 5:30 in this room, Chief Baraka Carter and myself will have a town hall meeting here, and we're talking about public safety and how we work hard to keep the community safe, and we'll be happy to answer questions and provide some safety tips. So I encourage everybody to attend again Wednesday, the 26th, in this room here. This is a Sikh awareness event that I was talking about. Again, this is some community organizers, Western Singh Foundation, and they had some speakers, Jakarta movement, that presented a presentation on bullying. And I really enjoyed the presentation, and I noticed that the picture on the right actually has a lot of the Punjabi Sikh residents in our city and across the state that are involved in politics. And while our mayor was not there, he was there in spirit. I know so. Well, you do got to get Councilmember Gandy's picture up there. So, again, representing the city and the police department. And again, thank you, City Manager, for attending that event with us. For those who know Mrs. Valdez from Campus Park, she just retired after 30 years serving the district, dedicated to the district. And she was actually very moved, and all the kids lined up and gave her kind of a gauntlet, and she came through the gauntlet, and it's her last day. We had 2 officers recognized at the MAD recognition luncheon that was held up in Dublin last week. Sonny, the police horse, and Officer Joe Cruz were recognized for a DOI arrest they made here in town, and they actually presented them with a halter for Sonny, and it was actually a pretty big thing. They showed the video from the news clippings that came here out of Fresno. And then Officer T.J. Griffin was awarded for the DOI arrest that he makes in our community over the last year. So, and lastly, Officer Godfrey's he's a bicycle trained officer, and he actually went to the train-the-trainer course, and is coordinating the department's bicycle unit that will be up and running here in the near future. As you know, post requires all officers to attend a post certified bicycle school, and he will be the instructor for that, and we'll have bicycles running around the city and around special events. So it's exciting to have that, and I want to thank Officer Godfrey for that. And with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Public, any questions of the police department? Council? Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Okay.